Hi, we're Western Productions, and we'll be doing a video interview series of some of the alumni here at Western. We're going to be highlighting the amazing parts about the marketing program. My name is Rui, and be sure to check out the link down below for more information about the marketing program. We're very excited to introduce our first alumni, and we hope you enjoy.
How you doing?
Very good. You?
Good. My name is Hayden LeMaster. I'm a Western marketing grad, class of 2016. I own a local business, LeMaster Graphics, right here in Bellingham. We do web design, company branding, and marketing products. And let's chat.
Where are you from?
Originally grew up just outside Tacoma, Washington, a little town called Sumner. Grew up there and in Puyallup as well.
What brought you all the way up here to Bellingham?
Oh, that's a good question. So I actually spent a lot of time here when I was a kid. Both my parents went here to Western. They actually met here at Western, so I kind of owe my life to this school. So there's that. My grandparents live in Ferndale, so growing up, we always spent time coming up here, whether to see grandma and grandpa, or mom and dad want to go hang out and have lunch in Red Square with us kids. And I kind of fell in love with Bellingham early. Living in Puyallup and Sumner was an easy 2-hour day trip to get up here. We'd come up here all the time. And when it was time to kind of, go through high school, start looking at colleges, Western really jumped out just for the community. Love Bellingham. It's a beautiful place to live. And when I was kind of scoping out schools as a kind of an undecided on major yet, I was kind of picking on just what had a good school, what had a good community. Bellingham really jumped out.
So what drew you into the marketing program? Was it your first choice?
I actually didn't really have a first choice. So when I came up here, I was kind of looking at design, kind of looking at computer science, but I was sort of up in the air. And I thought, I'm going into my freshman year undecided. Let's just find a good, solid school. And then I have 2 years of GURs to really kind of hone in and find my major. If I find something that Western does really well, I'll stay here. If I find something Western doesn't have or doesn't do well, you can always transfer schools if you need to. But actually, DECA is what did it. A friend of mine said, hey, you seem to I think you do well in the marketing world. Come to a DECA meeting. It's kind of a new member expo thing. There's free pizza, which always gets your attention as a college student. And I thought, let's just go check it out. Let's check out DECA. And I got to pick Dan Purdy's brain a little bit. Dan was there. He was the advisor for DECA. I'm not sure if he still is, but talked to him a little bit, talked to some students there. And within probably an hour, I was like, this is my place. This is my major. I didn't declare that night, but I think I declared in the next couple weeks. Kind of fell for it pretty quickly. It was, yeah.
So did you have a favorite class out of all your electives and all your marketing classes?
Oh my gosh. I'm not just saying this because I know this is an IMC project, but actually it's IMC. I was reading the questions and I'm going to sound very biased because I know this is an IMC thing. But what I love about IMC, and I say the same thing about my high school did the senior project. And we actually had some parents protesting the senior project. And my thing was you learn all your textbook stuff. You do all your sort of nuts and bolts textbook learning. And then you have sort of transition where you need to go, okay, you've learned all this stuff. Now here's how to apply it in the real world. And I see IMC as the same way. I think IMC did a great job. You go through 380, 381, 382. You go through stats and calculus and all these sort of building blocks. And I think IMC really took it to, okay, now you're running a marketing campaign. This isn't numbers and addition and stats and accounting and whatnot. You're running a campaign. And you have this from this class and that from that class. And you have to push it all together just like you will when you're out in the real world. Capstone sort of did the same thing. Those were kind of the two I had in mind for that question. But IMC is, I think, in my opinion, sort of the first step of this is you in the marketing world. This isn't your preparation. This isn't your undergrad classes. This isn't your major requirements. This is the marketing world. And just kind of makes you feel like you're really working in marketing for the first time.
You said you graduated in 2016.
Yep.
After graduation, what was your career path? And did you have any highlights?
Absolutely, yeah. So I started a small business in college. And when I say small, I mean the smallest business you can think of. I was doing a little bit of freelance graphic design, just the occasional hey, you're a nonprofit or a student club that can't afford to pay someone to make flyers. I would do it for, $10 or whatever because I was 19 years old and just wanted to kind of learn that world a little bit. And I decided to get a business license. I thought, most folks just do this for cash on, go on Craigslist, say, hey, I'm a freelance graphic design student or whatever. I went out and got a business license and just thought, let's do this legitimately. I think I set aside about $500 to start a business bank account, most of which was because I needed to buy a new computer anyway. So I'm like, let's make this a business. And it was very much meant to just be a little kind of, I had my classes, I had a day job. I was working at the dining hall actually. And then I thought, let's just do this for some extra cash on the side. I don't know if beer money is professional to say, but I'm going to say it was for beer money. But yeah, and then it kind of just grew from there. I kind of fell in love with the business world. And as I pursued the marketing major, I sort of did more freelance stuff. I realized I have a business license, and instead of doing maybe a $10 project a week that would kind of fall into me, I would sort of go out there, I would network, I would shake hands, I would reach out to local nonprofits, local businesses saying, hey, I'm a local business owner. I want to grow this. And it was sort of my part-time thing for the rest of college.
How did you balance all of that, out of curiosity?
That's a great question. So I actually dropped down to half-time school. When the business sort of took off, I found myself doing a lot more work in my field, which was a great feeling. I was studying marketing, but also working in the marketing world. And I thought, I kind of sat down, I talked to Dan, who's my advisor, a little bit, and thought, this is going well. Not well enough to, I'm not a Bill Gates. I dropped out of college. I was so successful. I was nowhere near that. But I thought, college is always there. School's always there. And this is going well. And I'd rather not drop it and hope it just goes well a couple of years from now. So I kind of took my foot off the gas school-wise. I'm class of 2016. I actually started in 2010. So I was here for 6 years doing half-time school for most of that. And then starting a business. While taking classes about halftime.
Did you learn any skills from the marketing program that help you excel in your career path after?
Oh, absolutely. So I took the business full time after I graduated, and oh my gosh, I'm looking back, and again, I'm hugely biased because I'm sitting here talking to marketing students, but the WW marketing major was incredible for that, both in and out of the classroom. The classes I took, the professors I had were incredible, but at the same time doing things like DECA and other things kind of outside of the classroom, even just sort of networking and, going out for dinner with other marketing students and creating those networks, connecting on LinkedIn, stuff like that. It really sort of created a community outside the classroom that really sort of fostered that marketing passion.
Any words of advice for future marketing students?
Yeah, I think take the opportunities that are outside of the normal college route. We all come here, we all pay a ton of money for tuition, and we all take classes. I think someone did the math, this might be outdated now, but I think someone said every time you sit down for a class, that's $50. So you go to class. I know it's a little terrifying, especially because I'm still paying those loans, but it's like you go to class, you sit down for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, that's $50 bill. The idea being, in the long run, you'll make well over $50 per class in your experience, in your education, et cetera, leads to a better career. But outside of that is, there's so many more opportunities that don't cost $50. I joined DECA first thing before I even declared my major, and I realized, I could sit down in DECA for an hour, and it's hugely helpful in marketing knowledge, in networking, in, we would do the case competitions. I know SMA does the same thing, and I realized, I'm not paying another level of tuition for this, but this is here, this is available. And I got just as much out of that as I did of the nuts and bolts marketing classes as well. So I would tell students, I just spoke for SMA, I think last week, amazing group of students. And I just watch it and I go, the amount of networking and education that's happening here in this room on top of your knowledge you're getting in the classroom itself, take every opportunity you can, shake hands, make those LinkedIn connections, go out and do these mock case competitions. It's just incredibly valuable.
Thank you for your time, Hayden.
All right. Hey, thank you so much. Good to meet you.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Hayden for coming by. Make sure to check out the Western Marketing website, link down below, and please like, comment, and subscribe.